Your brain needs exercise. Why is this? Because it's important for us to get out of our comfort zone, being idle, accepting our everyday routine, because it helps us become creative and innovative. Dr. Price Pritchett has written a little handbook called Lucky You. He believes, and I believe with him, that we can bring luck into our lives. Now, he's not talking about the lottery. What he is talking about is when we stay idle, we make very little progress in our lives to our ambitions and our big dreams. We also create a lot of negative energy when we simply stay in everyday routines. In his little handbook called Lucky You, which guides us to embrace luck, his point of view, the subtitle also reads, A Psychological Strategy for Multiplying Luck and Achieving Your Big Ambitions. Juicing up your creativity, he has several ideas. One of them is start watching different films, read different books, join different groups, start riding a bike. All these things will improve your creativity. Now, why is creativity so important? Because it leads to innovation. Innovation is what drives athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, even major corporations are looking for creative and innovative people. Let's just take some examples of athletes. Look at Simone Biles, world champion, gold medal champion in the Olympics 7 times over. She has created her own routines where they actually call it the Biles move. And this is because she's a creative person. She gets uncomfortable. Certainly, I'm not telling you to become a gymnast or do anything crazy like that, but simple actions such as reading different books that you wouldn't normally read, say autobiographies. Stop reading the murder mysteries, by the way. Stop reading and listening to anything negative starting today. Start looking toward your big ambitions, your epic achievements, and doing that is starting to get uncomfortable. Another athlete is, look at Freddie Freeman. This guy was going through some pretty tough times with his 3-year-old son, right? We know this. The home runs he made in order to help win the World Series. This is someone who got uncomfortable, and he focused on being creative and innovative for his team. Another example, take it to the business level. Remember the woman who created liquid paper, and now we have those little jars of white paint, and when we cover over our mistakes when we're writing. Yes, okay, liquid paper. I don't even know what it's called any longer because I don't use it. But that's the whole idea that Price Pritchett is talking about, that our brain needs exercise. You don't have to do something drastic, but do something every day that takes you out of your comfort zone, that will help you bring epic luck. He also talks about hanging out with the right people, maybe other people who are also pursuing their ambitions, and they only allow good stuff in their lives. They also don't pay attention to all the negative things that are happening in the world. They focus on their own community and how to help people. You bring people up with a helping hand, and that will help you create a very strong foundation for your creativity and for being innovative. To wrap this up with those points, your brain needs exercise, and there's very simple ways to do this. According to Price Pritchett, don't strain yourself looking for luck. Just be welcoming when it shows up. And in order to do that, look at his book, read his little handbook, Lucky You, A Psychological Strategy for Multiplying Luck and Achieving Your Big Ambitions. He has wonderful tips in there. It's an inexpensive little book. I'll put the link in my podcast details. But it's important to not stay idle. Don't get dragged down in negativity. Find a group of people who are also looking for epic achievements in their lives. No matter what age you are, you can become creative and innovative, which helps your community and helps the world. Secondly, Kundalini Yoga. I am still including the Abundance Kriya because, strangely enough, working with an orange, and that's messy, will also help you. And abundance is not just related to money and finances. Abundance can be your health, it can be your vocation, a career, it can be simply achieving that big dream. Maybe you want to move to Australia, maybe you want to move to Portugal, maybe you want to become a digital nomad. Abundance has all kinds of facets, so it's not just about money. It's always about the things that you want out of life. Relationships also. Lastly, I'm including a brief subject on Raats, South African wines. He released an older vintage, or they released an older vintage, of Cabernet Franc 2021. Now this is 2024, and I'm sure this is a stunning wine. Focusing on South African wines now is important to me because even though we're in fall, they're in spring. Therefore, they're going to have quite a few new releases. I also believe that the Raats Vineyard has an impeccable production process because they are sustainable. They are of great value. South African wines were denigrated for a while many years ago. People don't really venture into South African wines, and I really believe they're great values and absolutely stunning and stellar wines. To wrap this up, remember that luck, you want to welcome it. And one of the ways to welcome luck is to exercise your brain. Our brains need exercising. And that's simply by being comfortable with being uncomfortable, meaning to step out of your comfort zone. Something as simple as, if you're a big bicyclist, I am, or a runner, I'm not a runner, change the path that you take. We just had a hurricane, and now I don't bike over Treasure Island because it's absolutely decimated. Little things like that, though, will make you more creative. Watch new films, read new books, read some autobiographies, read a book on inventors. The whole idea is to increase your creativity, which in turn will increase innovations. Practice this Kriya from Kundalini Yoga. It's a free link. It's about your abundance. If you don't want to delve into Kundalini Yoga and do the practice, just listen to the music. Lastly, I want you to discover South African wines. The Raats Family Vineyards are producing stunning and stellar wines, and they're just releasing a 2021 Cabernet Franc, which has to be just beautiful. Anytime you need help finding wines, food and wine pairing, this Cabernet Franc, while it's typical to France, it's going to be, as much as I don't eat meat, it is going to be a really big, robust wine that will go with your winter meals. Me being a vegetarian, I love grilling all vegetables on the barbecue. Therefore, for me, the Cabernet Franc would be beautiful with acorn squash, butternut squash that's grilled, the mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, and Cabernet Franc, you must have it slightly chilled. To close this up, I'm Valerie Hill. I produce this podcast once a week to help people with their mindset. Remember, thoughts become things, so choose the good ones. I also teach a class to help people overcome their fear and anxiety of making presentations. I help you manage that. Merci, au revoir.